Hello everyone, welcome back to TechAkin. Today I will guide you through a detailed process of installing Oracle Database 19c on Oracle Linux 7.9. That will be an x64 version. So let's get started. Now, the very first step is to download all of the Oracle 19c database software that we need. We're going to go to this website. It's the Oracle OTN website. That's where we'll find all the files. So on this site, I'm going to leave this link below in the description so that you can go. If you want to try this out, you can grab the link from below. So you go to the software delivery cloud. That is the e-delivery site. So click on that. And if you want, feel free to create a free account. It's free. Type Oracle Database 19c. So do a search, and we're going to be using the Enterprise Edition. So select the Enterprise Edition and scroll down. I believe the first one is the one you want to download. This is Oracle Database 19c Enterprise Edition 19.3. Click on that. Once you click on that, it will add it into a cart for you. Go up and click on continue. And the following page, you want to make sure you uncheck all of these so that we can select the right database version. Now, Oracle Database 19.3, the long-term release, that is the one that you want to download. So check on that and go to the platform languages. From the drop down, you need to select whichever version matches your operating system. For the Oracle Linux 7.9 that we installed during our last tutorial, it's a Linux x86 64 version. So I will select that and I will click on continue. That is the only one I need. Always make sure you accept the license terms and agreement for Oracle. Check and continue. All right, so once you're on this page, what you want to do right now is download this zip file. It comes in a zip file package, so I will basically just click on download. And once you do that, you will see at the top right, depending on your own, it will start downloading. Awesome. So as you can see, we have successfully downloaded our Oracle Database 19c software that we need. The next step is to create and move the software to a staging area. So because if you remember right now, we just download this into our local machine. It's not actually in the Linux server yet. So what we'll do, we'll go to the download area and open it up. Okay, as you can see, Oracle successfully downloaded to our area. And we're going to be taking this file and we'll move it to our staging area inside the Linux 7.9. But before that, we need to prepare that staging area. So let's go back to mobile xterm. This mobile xterm is connecting to the server, which is Oracle Linux 7.9, the server over here, this one. So we can log in as a root, enter the root password. Basically, this is the machine that we installed in the last tutorial, and we're going to be moving that software into the staging area here. Now let's go and create a staging area. So we just say mkdir -p user1 staging. So I created a staging, and so let's change the directory into that, cd user1 staging. All right, let's list the content, ls-l. There's nothing inside. So if you look on the left side, like I showed you during one of our previous video, open up the user1 directory, and here the staging directory is there. Open it up, and you can drag and drop the Oracle software that we downloaded from Oracle website so that you can upload it to the staging area. So it's now uploading to the staging area. As you can see, it's 32% and still uploading. Perfect. So the Oracle database software that we downloaded from, just a recap, we went to the OTN website and we downloaded the software, and from our Windows machine I drag and drop the file into the Oracle Linux into the staging area. Now let's look at the content of the staging area. I'm going to clear the screen and do an ls ltr, and there you go. So we are in the staging area. If I do present working directory, we're in user 1 staging, and we move the software into that location. Now the next step is to create all of the directories that we need. So basically we need to ensure that all the directory that Oracle will be installed into, we have to create them. So for all the installation, where the data files will be stored, all those directories, we have to create them right now. And to do that, we just need to enter some series of sets of commands. So the first one that we need to create is I call it the Oracle home. And to do that, we just say, as a root user, mkdir -py, and I will give it the location part is U01 app Oracle, right? Product 19.3 is the version that we're installing, and followed by the database home. So db home _1. This is the way I like to create my own directory. Some people, you can play around. Feel free to choose the type of Oracle location that you want to have. So I press enter, and then the next one I want to create is the Oracle base. It's already created anyway, so we'll just say mkdir -p, so U01 app Aura data. Perfect. And that's our Oracle base location. Now some people like to use U01 app Oracle as their base. It's also good as well. You can use that as well. All right, now that we've created all of the directories that we needed where the Oracle installation will be stored, the next step in our tutorial is to set all the environment variables. What do I mean by environment variables? We need to set the path for Oracle home, Oracle base, and Oracle SID, and of course our path. We need to set them correctly so that we don't run into issue. And the very first one we want to, I already prepared them here. So if you can look at this, these are the dependencies we have to install. All of these ones, we have to run this and make sure that Oracle Linux is updated with these dependencies. So I will grab all of them like this. Don't worry, I'm going to leave them in the description below for you so you can use it if you want. And do not forget this, you have to be a root user to run them. Okay, so I will just change my directory to the root location, and then I will paste all of those commands into this terminal like this. And as you can see, it's installing them. If during the process of installing it found that one of them is already installed, it will just go and skip it and move to the next one. So for example, this one, the Unix ODBC loaded plugin is already installed, so there's nothing to do. You just move to the next one. Yum install y binotels, the next one. Once you have basically created all the directories that Oracle will be installed, the next step is for us to add all the required dependencies and packages into the Oracle Linux 7.9. all right, you can see most of them, majority of these packages and dependencies have been installed, and that's the reason why you're skipping them. But for the ones that are not installed, it's all already just adding them, and they are successfully being added, as you can see. These are the packages and required dependencies that Oracle 19c depends on for successful installation. Perfect. And so now we completely install all of the dependencies and packages. Now, one of the commands that it doesn't take much to run, we just need to do yum update dash y. So press enter. Perfect. Just to check all the packages are installed. If these packages is missing, this command will install it. Will update everything for you. Now the next step is in installing our packages too. We have to install the Oracle database pre-install so that we establish some groups and some users required for 19c installation. What I mean by that is you need to run this command, yum install Oracle database pre-install, and I want the 19c version, which is x86-64, and that's the one I want because I'm going to be installing the Oracle 19c version. So we have to install the dependencies and packages for 19c. So press enter, and once you press enter, you will receive the prompt. Yes, do you want to continue? Yes. So enter a Y for the packages to download, and it's downloading them and installing them. During this process is when one of the user and groups, majority of the users and groups that we need will be installed. We need to use an OInstall group and an Oracle user during this installation. So that is successful. The next step is to change the password for the Oracle user. So to do that, we need to enter the command passwd and Oracle the user. Press enter. We assign a new password to Oracle user. Press enter. Press enter. Perfect. So the Oracle user is now created when we run the pre-install package dependencies, and also the group OInstall is also added as well during the process. For the ones that are not added, we're gonna be adding them ourselves. So we need to add additional users and groups, and I already have them here. These are the groups that we need to have to be able to install Oracle 19c properly. So I will copy all of this and I will paste it in the terminal. Perfect. So I copy all of them. I have a DBA, Oper, backup DBA, DGDBA, and so on. Now, if you don't forget, we created some directories a little bit earlier on. We need to assign those directories some ownership and some permissions now that we have the group and the user that we use them. So we have to assign the directory that we created, which is the Oracle home. We need to assign them to the user called Oracle, and the group O install. So to do that, just copy this command, or I can just type in change ownership -r. I want the Oracle user, I want the O install group to take over the U01 directory. Perfect. And I also want to change the permission of that directory. I want to 775, and then I will give it the path of the directory U01. So now if we do ls-l U01, as you can see, this is now owned by Oracle user and O install. It's not owned by root anymore, because root user was the one that created it. So now we've assigned the Oracle user and O install group to own the base U01 directory. Perfect. So once that is done, the next step is for us to check if the firewall is disabled or not. And to do that, the command is systemctl status firewall daemon. It's called firewall D. It's called firewall daemon. Just so basically you can see firewall is disabled already, which is perfect. That's what we want. If it's enabled, we just need to issue the command systemctl disable. First of all, we need to stop it. Systemctl stop firewall D. And then we can disable it. Systemctl disable firewall D. That's the process to disable firewall. Once we successfully install our dependencies and all of the packages that is required to be in Oracle Linux 7.9, we need to check the file that is called etc hosts to check if our network and IP addresses, our host name is configured correctly. So let's clear the screen first. First thing I want to do is check the host name of this server. So the host name -a is TechAkin. Okay, I want a fully qualified domain name. Let's check the IP address first. Okay, and then let's check the fully qualified domain name. Perfect. So this must match whatever is inside of our etc.host. So let's cat the content of etc hosts. Perfect. So we can see that our IP addresses matches the content of our etc host, and also the host name, the fully qualified domain name, also matches what's inside of our etc host. That is brilliant. Perfect. So the next step for us is we need to verify two files known as etc cctl and etc security limit. So we have to make sure the content inside of those matches what I have here. So the first one we'll do is let's check the etc cctl.conf. So basically I'm gonna clear my screen and I am gonna cat the content of etc cctl.conf. Perfect. So if I'm looking at this correctly, each value that is available in that file matches what I have here. So I have file marks 6815744. I have the same thing, file mark 681744. So I'm going to leave this in the description so you can match it with your environment as well. So I have nothing against this. Everything looks good. So I can see my net IPv4 local port range 90006550, net IPv4, local port range 900655. Okay, perfect. Let's move on to the next file. The next file is cctl98 oracle.conf. So I will just do, before I do that, I will just check something. Perfect. To know if all the values here are correct, you can type the command /sbin/cctl-p. That will bring out all of the values, each of them. And then let's cap the content of this file. Let's see security limits. Let's see security limits forward base 19c 19. Perfect. So we cap the content of etc security limits.d Oracle database pre-install that we installed a little while ago. We want to make sure that each of the value inside of that corresponds with the value I have here. So the first one is Oracle soft no file 1024, Oracle soft no file 1024, Oracle hard no file 65536, Oracle hard no file 65536. So I'm taking a glance look on everything. Everything matches. The memlocks correct, 228, and the Oracle hard data is unlimited. Oracle hard data, we don't have it. Perfect. Awesome. So that is we've successfully verified these two files, and we've also changed the Oracle user's password. Now the next step is to log in as that Oracle user itself. So what you want to do is basically bring up a new session, go to SSH, and type the IP address of this server, 192.168.58.129, and then the user this time is not going to be root, it's going to be Oracle. Okay, using MobileX time is very easy, so press OK. Once you do that, you'll be asked for the Oracle user password that we set before. Enter the password. Voila. And if I do, who am I? Now I'm Oracle. So now I log in as an Oracle user, and then I can look at I can basically look at the staging area, ls-l u01. I can see that they are owned by Oracle. Group O install, and in the staging area we have just the Oracle files, database file. Perfect. So now the next step is basically to update the path. So we source for environment variable first, and then we update the path for them. Now there is a file, it's a profile file which is called bash profile. We have to look into that file and see what is the content of that file. So let's say su oracle, enter Oracle password again, and then cat the content of bash profile. So our bash profile literally contain nothing for now, so we're going to update that, and I will say vi bash profile. Now I open up the bash profile, I have to update it. Insert. I already prepared the content that I want to put inside of this, so I'm going to paste it directly from my text. The content of this will be my Oracle home, Oracle base, Oracle SID. So I'll paste it. Perfect. And I will just make some changes to some of the lists here. So our host name is actually TechAkin .domain. Our Oracle unique name will be prod. We want to install a production database. Now our Oracle base is set correctly, is U01 app Oracle, and our Oracle home itself is U01 app Oracle products without the S, 19.3, and then db_home_1. And then for the Oracle SID, I will give it prod as well. All right, there's something I want to do. I want to have an alias, An alias is a quick way, equals to quote SQL plus / sys DBA. So my alias, I want to call it let's say DD. Okay, alias DD. So when I type DD, it will go straight to SQL plus prompt. Perfect. And I will save this file. To save it, I'll just column, and let's look at the content of bash profile. So cat bash profile. Perfect. We are very sure that we have the correct values in them, and the next step we need to do is to export those environment variables. So we do export Oracle home equals user1 app Oracle product 19 version 19.3 and the database home underscore 1. As we export our Oracle home, and then export Oracle SID, that will be prod, and then export Oracle base, that equals user1 app Oracle. Perfect. And last but not least, we need to export our part. Export path equals, so we already have it in here. You see it's $path or Oracle home, but for ours is very different. So I will just use the Oracle home bin. I'll send it back to the bin path. So Oracle home path, there you are. So we will export path to be our Oracle home / bin $path, and press enter. And to make life easy for me, I want to copy this and place it inside our bash profile actually. So let's put it in a bash profile, bi.bash profile, insert, and I will make sure this is the last one in the list. Press okay, let's remove that. Perfect. Okay, and let's save it. Quit, and then let's check if everything is set correctly. So environment grep in pipe into grep ORA. Okay, we see that Oracle SID is prod, our Oracle base is U1 app Oracle, and our Oracle home is perfect U1 app Oracle. If I say change directory now, or if I say echo $Oracle home, it gives us the complete path to our Oracle home. If I do the same thing for the SID, it will give us the name of our Oracle SID that we set. So perfect. So now that we've done that, next step is to basically extract the content of the installation files that we downloaded from Oracle website. So before we move to the next step of extracting the Oracle installation file, there is something I want to check real quick because I'm not sure if I made a mistake, and that is inside of my my bash profile. I made an alias, but I'm not sure if it's a correct syntax. Let's go back there. So vi our bash profile. See, I knew I made a mistake. So my alias is DD, which is okay, but SQL plus as sysdba. So now this is completed. So pardon me. So let's save that. Okay, perfect. All right, so next step is to extract all of the contents inside of the Oracle installation files that we download in the beginning. So let's go do that. Now let's clear our screen from here. I always like to do that as an Oracle user so that when I finish extracting those files, they will be owned by the Oracle user and not root or other user. So let me change directory to Oracle home. Perfect. And present working directory. Awesome. So now I change to Oracle home and it gives me all the paths. I did present working directory. So now we know that we're in Oracle home. Now, but let's do ls-l to see there's nothing inside Oracle home. Perfect. So let's go back to our staging area. So cd uo1 staging. And let's list the content of that. Okay, so we have the installation files that we downloaded. We're going to be extracting this zip file. Entire content needs to go inside of our Oracle home. So to do that, we type the command unzip our file name, which is v9h2063, and we need a switch called -d, and we point it directly into our Oracle home. All right, so I said unzip this file and point all the content and dump them into our Oracle home, and press enter. And so as you can see, what is happening here is the zip file that I downloaded on Oracle e-delivery site is being extracted. It's taking all the content from the staging area and is placing every content into our Oracle home location. The Oracle home directory was already created by us. Prior to 19C, I believe you don't have to do this. I believe you can just extract the zip files, the binary files inside of the staging area. But for the Oracle 19C, you need to make sure that you extract all the binary files into the Oracle home, because the Oracle home is where we needed them to be. So because the file is around 2.5 gig, it can take like 3 to 4 minutes. So if you want to skip this part, you want to forward the video, you can do so. Please feel free to do so. Perfect. So the our installation file extracted successfully. Now when you're doing this type of process, you need to check, verify. Verification is the key, honestly. So to make sure that you didn't miss any step, and if we do everything correctly, we should be able to successfully install our database. So at this point, once we have extracted it, we have to go check whether there's something there. So let's change directory to Oracle Home. Perfect. pwd to know where we are. We're in the Oracle Home, and let's clear our screen first, and let's list every content inside the Oracle Home. Perfect. So now we see all of the content of that zip file is unzipped and placed inside Oracle Home. Now for the GUI, for the GUI installation, or in order to grant display access, we have to ensure that we initiate an access control list. And to do that, we just need to run a simple command called, I'm not sure if I can do it. Let's try the X host, the plus sign, and then our domain name is TechAkin.domain. Perfect. So what we did, we just added this domain, this server, we added to access control list, so that we are sure that we can display the GUI from Java. Now it's the moment we've been preparing for since the beginning of this tutorial. Now that we've navigated into the Oracle Home containing all the unzipped files, we have to initiate the Oracle base software installation by running a package that is here. It's called run installer. This is the one that we need to use to install our base 19C software. So let's go and do this, /run installer, and press enter. Okay, anytime you do a run installer, you will be visited with a GUI, a GUI, which is the Oracle Universal Installer. It will be your guide, a step-by-step guide for installation. So at this point, I want to select a configuration option. I will just say for now, set up software only, and I will click next. Select database installation option. Select the type of database installation you want to perform. I want to perform a single instance and not rack. We're not at the rack yet. In the future, I'll be releasing some training on real application clusters configuration. So for now, let's choose single instance and click next. And the database edition that we want, of course, will be the enterprise edition. I will click next, and for the installation location, so the directory where all the files will be based, the base Oracle base will be UO1 app Oracle. I'm happy with that. Feel free to play around. You can change yours. You can create with different names and be flexible. So you can do whatever you like. So I'll choose next because I'm happy with this. And the inventory, this is where the Oracle inventory will be located. So it's the installation of metadata files. For example, all of our log files, will be located here. So it's called UO1 app or inventory, and the group that will own that is oinstall. That is okay with me. I'll choose next. And the privileged operating system groups, I will also accept, by default, all these groups. We have the DBA admin group as the DBA. We have the OS OPA group as OPA. We have the backup and recovery group as backup DBA. We have the data guard administrator will be DGDBA, and so forth, and so on and so forth. So I am not going to change anything here. I will choose next. And the root script execution is very important because we have to create a file called the ORA tab file. The Aura tab file contains the identity and the names, the locations of our database and our instances. So you can choose to automatically do this, or you can choose manual. I really like to manually execute this script, so I'm not going to check this. I'll just click next, and now the prerequisite performance is being done, and it's very quick. The Oracle OUI perform a prerequisite check to check whether our environment is completely ready to accept Oracle 19c installation. And as you can see, I don't see any error message. There are no error message from that prerequisite checks. There are no warnings, nothing whatsoever. So it means whatever we have been doing so far, we're on the right path to installing the Oracle 19c. So the global settings of our Oracle software will be the Enterprise Edition. Our base is U01 App Oracle. The software location itself will be, which is the Oracle Home, is the long path, and the privileged operating systems are these groups. We have a DBA, we have Opera, backup DBA, and so on. So I'm happy with all of the settings so far. What I'm going to do is just select install so that we can install the base software for Oracle. And now you can see that the Oracle is copying all the necessary files that we need, and it's placing them in the correct location. Some of the executables that is being executed right now will be placed into Oracle Home, Oracle Base, Aura Data, all those locations that we created before. And you can choose details to actually see what's happening. I usually like to choose detail. This detail, expand this. So right now, Oracle is linking the Arma utility. So there's a lot going on in the back that we don't know, but you can get a little bit idea of what the OUI is doing by opening up the details tab. So right now, setting up Oracle OLAP 19, the spatial graph and everything. So, and at this point, the OUI is looking for some execution of some root execution. So we're going to execute some script. So the first one is aura inst root.sh. Let's grab that. And the instruction is to execute the configuration script. You need to open a terminal window. You have to log in as a root user. When you log in as a root user, you have to run the script and then return to this small window and press OK. So let's go do that. I copy this link. Let's go to a root login. This is a root at the user TechAkin. So let's clear the screen and let's paste that link. I don't think I copied it properly. Let's go back again. So I'm gonna highlight and copy everything again, and then I'll go to the root terminal and then I will paste it. Perfect. So now press enter. So some permissions were changed for our base directory, some read write permission for the all install group and all of the groups. The group name was changed, from Aura inventory to all install, and the execution of this script was successful and is complete. So let's head back to that and let's grab the other link for root.sh. This root.sh is the one which is going to create a file known as Aura tab. I've explained before that Aura tab contains the identity and the list of the database that you have in your environment, including their path. So let's basically just drop that and let's press enter. Now for me, I will just accept all the defaults from here because the following environment variables are being set. So the owner is Oracle. The Oracle on path is this. So I like that. Press enter, and there you go. So it successfully copies some files to our DB home. We copy some Aura environment file, and it created our Aura tab file. all of the necessary entries for the TFA, was set, and the action was successful. So it says TFACTL will use TFA service if the service is running and the user has been granted access, and it will also configure a standalone mode only if the user has no access to TFA services. So this is nothing to worry about, as we're good. We can go back to that GUI, the graphical user interface, and now we can press OK from here. Perfect. And as you can see, the registration of Oracle database was successful. All of our base files is copied properly and validated and installed successfully. So just go ahead and click close from here. So now, once we've successfully installed our the Oracle software, and there was no error message, we need to create our listener. So that's one of the post installation tasks for installing the Oracle software. We need to create a listener for Oracle 19c. This will facilitate communication with the Oracle database. So if we have different database, a listener will facilitate communication between them. And in order to install a listener, you can do it in several ways. You can use different command, but the one that I always like to use, which is very easy, is the netCA. netCA is network configuration assistance. So we have to go back to the Oracle, because the Oracle user must be the one who installed the listener. So change directly to the root, and I will say netCA and press enter. And as you can see, the Oracle Net Configuration Assistance is welcoming us and is asking us, what do you like to do? In my case, I want to configure a listener for the very first time. I will click next. And for the remote connection to be made to your Oracle database, you must configure an Oracle Net listener. The Oracle Net Configuration Assistant allows you to add, reconfigure, or rename or delete a listener. So in our case, this is the first time, so we'll select add, and that's the only option we have anyway. So click next. And the name for the remote connections to be made to any other Oracle database, we must have at least one Oracle Net listener in our environment. So we need to identify them by different name. So the first one, which is the default listener, I will leave it as listener, and I'll click next. Okay, we can configure the listener to accept connections over one or more protocols. So we can select which protocol we want to configure this listener for. So, and the configuration is very simple, as possible, just by configuring the protocols as we need. So you can choose whether between IPC or TCP/S. For now, I am fine with TCP, and I'll go next. And for the port number should be, should the listener use. So this is very debatable sometimes. Some people like to use a custom port that they like, depending on their environment. But for me, this is a training purposes. I'm fine with 1521. I will just go next. And that's it. Our Oracle listener has been configured for the very first time. So would you like to configure another listener? No. I'll click next. And listener configuration is now complete. I'll click next. And I'll click finish. And that is it. Our Oracle listener is now created. To check, there is a command you need to use, lsnr ctl status. Okay, and when you run that lsnr ctl status, it tells you the configuration and what your listener is doing at that point in time. So what I've done is I've just configure a listener that listen endpoint, and the summary of listening is just the host name is TechAkin, the domain is listening on port 1521, and at the moment this listener has no services. And that is true because we have not created any database yet. So once we create a database, we can associate it with this listener, and then you will see, more information from here. But for now, the command completed successfully and we're all happy. For our next task, we are going to be using a command to install our Oracle 19c database. And that command, like I mentioned in the beginning, is DBCA. The full meaning is Database Configuration Assistance. Okay, so to do that, you can be anywhere as long as you are inside the Oracle user. So you just type DBCA and press enter. Once you do that, the Java OUI will pop up, and then you can start configuring your database. For the first time, I want to create a new database. I will go next, and the typical configuration, for the creation mode, I want to choose a custom configuration. So I will select advanced configuration and I will go next. I'm happy with the database type because it's Oracle single instance for now. We're not dealing with rack for now. And for the template of our database, I'm happy for the general purpose transaction processing type of database. So I'll click next. And in the database identification details, I want to name my database. Now for the global name, we already agree on this when we were looking at the bash profile. We said it's production database, so it's prod. And the Oracle SID also is set to the same name. I'm happy with that. Now from the Oracle database 12c, the Oracle company introduces something called multi-tenant architecture. A multi-tenant architecture simply means you created a container database which will own one or more pluggable databases. In the future, we'll get more detail into creating container database, and whether creating them or cloning them, migrating pluggable databases, and so on and so forth. But for now, I want to create as a container database and use a local undo table space for PDBs. So we can have from between 1 up to, I believe, up to like 4, depending on your licenses. You need to get Oracle licenses for more if you need. So, but for now, for these training purposes, I will choose 2 Oracle pluggable database. And for the prefix, I am going to name them as prod _ PDB. That's what I want to name them. Okay, I'm done with this screen. I will click next. And the next thing to do is the database storage option. So I want to set this properly. This is going to be a file system as we're not using ASM yet. During the upcoming lecture, which is installing rack, we'll be dealing with ASM a lot. But for now, let's choose file system. And the location of our files is, I'm okay with this. So if inside our Oracle base, if you remember, I created an Aura data. So we place it right there and attach with a unique name. For the multiplex, yeah, why not? I will choose the OMF, which is fine, and I will click next. Now, fast recovery area. This is a very important area because we need to store some files for Oracle to look for backup and recovery purposes, or when the Oracle is storing the files that we need to restore our database, we need to make sure that we know we have a reliable location for our fast recovery area. So under the Oracle base, fast recovery, and DB unique name, I'm fine with that. I will accept all of the sizing for now. I can extend them in the future, absolutely. Now, enable archiving. This simply means that at the moment when we install our database is in no archive log mode. All right, but I want it to be in an archive log mode so that I can I can back up and restore my database. Now I can choose to do this here, or I can choose to use the terminal for the SQL Plus utility to do this. If I choose the SQL Plus to do this, all I have to do is I need to perform a shutdown first Once I shut down, I need to bring the database back up to a mount mode and then issue a command which is called alter database archive log. And that's all. It's very simple. And now what I'm saying is I'm switching my database from no archive log to archive log. And so it's very easy to do here by just checking this box, and I will just click next. All right. And as you can see, our network configuration detail, the Oracle Universal Installer knows how to detect if we have a listener running or not. So, and of course, we have a listener running. It's running on the port 1521. The location of that listener is in home, network admin, and also the status of our listener is up. It's not down. So I'm fine with that. I'll click next. And for the vault, if you Oracle Data Vault, for now, for training purposes, we don't need to do anything here. So I'll click next. Now for the configuration option, for the memory, I will accept all the default. For the sizing, I will change the process to 550. There's a reason for that, and I will explain that in the future. For the character set, I will go with the AL UTF-F8, and the connection mode will be dedicated, which is fine. Normally there's also a sample, a database sample, like a sample here, but today is not here, but that's fine. Everything here is fine with me, and the memory is fine. I will just click next. And we are now in the page for enterprise management. For Oracle Enterprise Manager, I want to configure that separately. We have a separate database for our Enterprise Manager, and then we will install the EM control itself separately. So I'm not going to need this, so I will just uncheck that. And I don't want to configure this database for Enterprise Manager yet. And I will just go next. Now we need to set a password for privileged users. There are three most important privileged users in our Oracle database. The first one is sys, first one is system, and the third one is PDB admin. So I want to give all of them the same password. So I will choose this option, use the same administrative password for all accounts. And I'm going to enter my password and confirm my password. Perfect. It's warning me because I entered a very weak password. That's fine for me because this is just training. Now in a production environment, you want to make sure that you have a very, very complex password that cannot be cracked. All right, so I will go next here and say, are you sure you want to continue with this weak password? I say yes, that's fine, I'm okay. And now we have to select the database creation option. On this screen, we definitely don't have to do anything. We just want to make sure we select for OUI to create our database. All right, you feel free, if you want to choose a template to record the templates of this process, you can do that. And you can also generate a script for this step-by-step process. In our next lecture, we're going to be talking about how to install Oracle database, using a response file. Something like this will be useful then. So, but for now, let's just click next. And that is it. There's a summary page. We reached the summary page of the entire configuration of our database. So this is exactly what our database will look like once it's successfully installed. And as you can see, the global settings is the prod name is prod, SID is prod. It is created as a container database. It has two pluggable database, and the automatic memory management is in effect, and the template is general purpose. Now for our init parameters, we have a audit file dest location, we have audit trail DB, its compatibility mode is 19, so DB block size is 8K, and the DB create file destination is set, and all of this is typical of Oracle 19C. And as you can see, I'm happy with everything I'm seeing based on the selection that I've made during the process. So the control files are going to be in this location, our redo log groups members, which are 3 for now, will also be in this, will be named in this and in this different location. So I will click on finish and let the installation be on that way. So click finish. All right, once you click finish, you see the process will start copying database file in progress. So there are different stages to go through. It will prepare the DB for operation. It will copy the database files. OUI will create the and start the Oracle instance, and it will complete the creation of our database by creating the PDBs, pluggable database, and then post configuration actions will be done. Same way, you can feel free to open the details if you like, but the entire log of this operation will be stored here, and the database alert log file will be in this location. So there you go. You can open this up and you can expand it to see what's going on. Let me grab this. I want to grab the this path. It's a trace log. It's a DBCA location, and this is a log file. So I want to go see what's happening here. You can actually tail it if you want, so copy this path and let's head over to a root user, and I say tail -f, and then I paste that link to see what's actually going on. So you can see that right now the percentage of this progress is creating and starting Oracle instance. So this process is going very quickly, and pretty much it should be done soon. So this is how you can check the current progress from the terminal. As you can see, it's now cloning and creating the database, and the DBCA progress is now 32%. So it's pretty fast. And also, if you check, 32% also here, which is correct. And in the alert log, after we finish creation, we can check the alert log for any types of error messages. So you can feel free to watch as the database, as the DBCA does its own thing, or you can feel free to skip this part to know what happens next. All right, the Oracle database 19C creation completed successfully. As you can see, we have a log file at this location, the one that I showed you before, and the database information that we just created, the name is prod and the SID is prod. Now for the password management, you can click on that button and you can set your password for each of these users depending on your project. But for now, I'm not going to do that. I click OK and I will close out of that. Now after the installation, there are a few tasks that is left. We need to ensure that any additional parameters are set, all of our environment variables are set, and we ensure that all the services are running. And we're going to do that by, let's close out of here first. After the installation, there are a few tasks left for us to do. So from our lists, so we just need to perform all of our post installation task, and those tasks is simply not just simple query against the new database to know whether this database is functioning well or not. Now for the field tasks, we need to ensure that our configuration, any additional parameters, all the environment variable are set, and that most importantly all the services are running. Now to do that, we're gonna exit this page. Let's go to Oracle side. I will log in again as the Oracle user, so Oracle, and enter the Oracle user password. First thing I want to do is our environment variable. So I want to know if we've set all the environment. So environment piped into grep.aura. Perfect. As you can see, we have set the environment variable before we even install database. Now we want to do cat. We want to look into our aura tab file to check the identity of our database. So cat etc aura tab. Perfect. As you can see, when I do cat etc aura tab, it's telling me that there is one Oracle home on this server, and there's also one service, which is one database, which is called prod. That's a beautiful thing about aura tab file. It will tell you if you have a number of databases, which are more than one here. And once you've done that, let's select this database. To do that, we say dot aura env, press enter. It's asking for the Oracle SID, which is our prod. Press enter, and it's telling us that the Oracle base remains unchanged with the value U01 app Oracle. Now at this point, you can do two things. if you want to start writing queries, we have to log in into the SQL Plus. All right, and you can also connect using SQL Developer. I will be showing you that in the future. Now, basically, because if you remember, I entered an alias inside my bash profile. If I cut my bash profile again, I've already entered an alias, which is DD. So anytime I set the environment variable and I enter DD in the terminal, right, it will go straight to the SQL Plus because that's what I set the alias to. So let's do DD from here, and as you can see, we are right inside the connection to our database via the SQL Plus. We connected into our newly created Oracle 19c database via SQL Plus, and as you can see, we have Oracle Database 19c Enterprise Edition installed. The release edition is 19.0, but actually the production version is 19.3. Perfect. Now the very first thing we want to do is check the identity of this database. What is the name of this database? So let's do select name from $, database. The name of this database is prod. Now, is this database a multi-tenant or just a single tenant? So we can do show PDBS. Perfect. And now we can see by running show PDBS that this database is a multi-tenant architecture database, and it contains two pluggable databases. One is prod PDB1 and it's prod PDB2. As you can see, our pluggable database, there are two of them, prod PDB1 and prod PDB2. That's the container name, and we also have a seed, a default seed pluggable database. Their current mode is some of them are varied. For the seed is always in read only now, but for the two custom pluggable databases that I created during the installation, the mode is read and write. It simply means they are ready and they are open for connection. They are restricted, they are not restricted. So let's try to connect into one of these. And before we even do that, let's show the name of the container database. You can do that by typing the command show container name, and as you can see is CDB root. And although the name is prod, but the container name is CDB root. Now, so let's connect into one of these pluggable database, which is prod underscore PDB1. Because it's already in read and write mode, it's ready for connection. So what we do is alter session set container equals, and we type the name of the pluggable database, prod underscore PDB1, and we press enter. Now it says session alter, which simply means this database is now the one we connected to, is now we can run any query against it. All right, so if I do show PDBS, I see that it selected the prod PDB1 only. And if I do select name from $, PDBS, it tells me the name of that pluggable database which we are connected to. Now, what I want to do is to, run some series of queries to just kind of ensure that, everything is running. So I will say select. This query will retrieve the name of the database. It will tell us its operational mode. It will also tell us whether the database role is primary or not. So I can say select name, open mode, right? Database role from $, database. and press enter. And as you can see, this database name is prod, the mode is read and write, and the role is primary. Now what I did here is I did not specify to check this information from our pluggable database, even though I am connected to pluggable database. This information is our container database information. So if I wanted to check the pluggable, I'll just use PDBS here instead of database. All right, so that's how powerful the multi-tenant architecture is. Even though you're inside the pluggable database, you can query the information of container database from inside of pluggable database. Now if I switch this, what if I change this to and I say all of this from $PDBS? What's gonna happen? Let's see what happened. So $PDBS. Now we're querying our pluggable database, and it says invalid identifier, and that is true because if you describe $PDBS, there is no database role here. There is no database role as part of the metadata for pluggable database, but for the container database we have database role as part of the metadata. So if I say alter session, right, set container, again if I go back to our root, I'll just copy the name cdb underscore. So I put the root database and I press enter. Now we're back inside of our container database. Let's show PDBS again. So it tells us that, oh, we're back inside of our container database, and so now we can successfully run the query that failed here. So if I try to run this query again, select name, open mode, database role. So for some fun part, if I want to write a query against our container database to check its name, its open mode, and then its role, we can just say select name, open mode, database role, and we can actually say, we can say the guard status from GV database. Perfect. So our container database name is prod. Its current mode is read and write. The database role is primary, and it has no guard status because a data guard has not been, it's not configured yet. Now, for the next set of query, I want to provide a list of files that is associated with our table spaces. So, for example, where are the data files for this database? Select name from $data file. It will tell us where all our data file is installed, and as you can see, the path of all our data files is here. There are 4 or 5 very important ones. It's system, sysaux, undo TBS, system, and which is users. Basically, these are all the data files that we have, and this is their location, the location where they are installed on the physical server. So for the next set of query, I just want to know the name of our instance and its status. So you can just type select instance name status from $instance. All right, and then as you can see, the instance name is prod and the status is open. All right. Okay. Also, for the next set of query, what if I want to quickly count all the active session that is currently connected to the database? This is useful to see if there are any active connections post installation. So basically, are there any services, any app that is connected to our database? How do we find that? So here's how to do that. So select count star. So you count star as active sessions. I just use this as title from $v session. All right, where status equals active. And as you can see, we have 57 active sessions. All right, so after running all these queries, you get a good sense of that this database and its core configuration are working fine. Everything is working well. It's actually a multi-tenant database. It has a pluggable database, as I showed you in the beginning, and everything is going good. So you can write a query to make sure that the next time you log out, and when you log back in, you want to make sure that this database remain this state. So you just say alter pluggable database or save state, and that's it. So what you did was you just wrote a query to ensure that when we log out of here for now and we come back the next time, prod pdb1 and prod pdb2 are always going to be in read and write mode. Say for example you want to shut down this database, or you want to know the archive log. Let's check the log mode. So say select log mode from $v database. This will tell us whether our database is in archive log or not. And as you can see, like I mentioned before, we check a box when we were installing this database and we make it an archive log. So you can shut down this database by issuing the command shut down immediate. All right, and the database is now closed and dismounted. And the instance is shut down. And then you can issue a command again to bring the database back up. Say for admin purpose, you can say startup. Just startup. There are other types of startup we'll be discussing in the future. There's a startup mount in mount mode, in no mount mode, and so on. And there's startup restrict. If you want to do some backup and recovery. So there you have it, folks. Basically, we've installed Oracle Database 19c successfully. Congratulations, we've got to the end of this video. We completed a detailed installation of Oracle Database 19c on Oracle Linux 7.9. I hope you found this tutorial very helpful. In our next video, we're going to be sharing with you. I'm going to be sharing with you how to install the same process, but we have to use a response file, like a script, to actually build this database. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, see you in the next video. Thank you.